The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Old Gods.
Come on,
Boise,
welcome.
Idaho, weighing in at 266 pounds, Archangel.
Everyone, welcome to GTW Dystopia. We're live here at Hartford, Connecticut. I am your host, Infinite Fantasy, and we're going to be starting tonight with our opening match. This has been anticipated for a whole week now. For 1 week, Steven Dynamite has been training Damian Elliott for his long-awaited rematch against Archangel. Archangel, who has a couple of months ago been one of the collaborators who has conspired to kidnap Damian Elliott in order for the Old Gods to gain certain demands off of the director Charles Elliott. Ever since his release, he's been tormented by Archangel. And tonight is his night to finally put things to rest and be free of this bully.
And his opponent from New York, weighing in at 163 pounds, Damian Elliott!
And here comes the son of director Charles Elliott, Damian Elliott, being accompanied in the ring by the chosen one himself, Steven Dynamite, who has been training him the last week. Damian Elliott is looking in that ring right now, seeing the man who has been tormenting him, bullying him, harassing him, the man who has held him hostage. This is not about getting a win tonight. This is about proving his worth in GTW, proving himself to his father, but most of all, proving it to himself that he is not just a helpless little boy anymore. He is now a man ready to face this challenge. We're getting started here. The two men grappling up. Archangel immediately pushing Damian Elliott into the corner, and the referee looking to break up the count. And there's Archangel with a cheap shot right on Damian Elliott. You can see Steven Dynamite in Damian's corner trying to cheer him on. And there's Damian with an amazing takedown right onto Archangel. And here comes Damian going for the armbar right onto Archangel. Damian not giving up though as he goes for a back grapple onto Archangel. Archangel getting the arm drag and now placing Damian into a headlock. Steven Dynamite trying to coach Damian in the corner there as Archangel continues to dominate this match. It was Steven Dynamite who on Raw has promised Archangel that Damian would present a challenge, that he would come out on top of this match, but thus far is being dominated by Archangel just as he has in the past. You see Archangel really enjoying this right now. Slowly taking apart, dissecting, torturing Damian right here. And there he is with the joint manipulation. He's not looking to win this. He's looking to hurt him. This will be their fourth time in the ring. Archangel looking to put this to rest once and for all, just as Damian is. But for different reasons. There's Damian throwing Archangel right over the top rope. And that drop kick knocking Archangel right out of the ring. Here's Damian throwing a knee down right onto Archangel. The two men now fighting outside. Damian with an impressive armbar. However, Archangel managing to punch his way out. And there's a bit of boxing by Damian Elliott. Referee now up to 6 on a count out. Damian quickly getting to the top rope instead of in the ring. He's going for a high risk maneuver, but it does not pay off. Unfortunately, nobody home, and Archangel rolls out of the way. And with Archangel with snake eyes onto Damian right onto the ring apron. And what's Damien doing? An avalanche right on the Archangel. An amazing counter by this young man. He now throws Archangel into the ring, and both men get in the ring just in time. Damien quickly going for the cover here. One, but no, Archangel kicks out. There's Archangel with those massive elbows onto Damian Elliott. Here comes the Irish whip. Archangel goes under. Oh, and a huge right strike by Archangel onto young Damien. Here comes the pin. One. However, Damien quickly able to kick out. Archangel attempting a high-risk maneuver himself. Luckily, Damien able to get away with some of that in-ring awareness, or should I say out-of-ring awareness, thanks no doubt to the training of Steven Dynamite. Here's Archangel with the reverse European uppercut right on to Damien. You can see Archangel beating the hell out of him. The referee up to 8 on the count out here. Archangel getting in the ring just in time, and Damien barely makes it back in by a split second. There's Damien now once again going for that armbar right on to Archangel. Trying to use some of those technical wrestling skills he's learned. But when all else fails, nothing will beat your opponent down than a giant knee right to the face. There's Archangel and the Irish whip right into the referee. Stalling him just in time for a massive spear. 1, 2, but Damien gets the shoulder up. This kid is digging in deep, not willing to give up in the singles matchup against Archangel. Archangel with the moonsault, going for the cover again. 1, 2, and again Damien with the shoulder up. There's Archangel off the ropes with a double axe handle, right into young Damien. You see Damien struggling to get to his feet as he uses the ropes to climb up. And Archangel kicking him back down. Damien stuck in the corner as Archangel picks him apart, but Damien fighting back. He puts Archangel in the armbar and then kicks in the shoulder blade. You can see Damien's starting to feel a little confident as he's starting to knock Archangel down a few pegs. Here comes the Irish whip. There's Damien throwing Archangel in the corner now. He runs in. European uppercut. The crowd's going crazy right now. Damien might actually pull this off tonight. But no, Archangel with a few elbows and a big boot, knocking Damien down in any hopes of building up momentum. Archangel now up to the top rope with a frog splash. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, 3, and once again, the victory goes to Archangel.
Here is your winner, Archangel!
You gotta give it up to Damian Elliott though. He fought as hard as he could, and this time really gave Archangel a fight. However, it just wasn't enough. Archangel still the dominant tormentor of Damian Elliott. And as good as a fight as he put, I don't know if that will be enough to win his respect. You see Steven Dynamite in the corner glaring up at Archangel. He promised that Damien would come up with the victory, however, just came up short here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dystopia. I am Infinite Fantasy. We're live here at Hartford, Connecticut. Tonight, we got more on our fight card as we have Farouk, a former WWE wrestler coming out of retirement as he takes on ECW legend, the Sandman, one-on-one tonight. We also have, for the men's qualifying match for the Survivor Games, Rhino will be taking on the European champion Andre Armstrong. And the hardcore champion Catalysm will be one-on-one in singles action against the Intercontinental champion Chosen, all here tonight on GTW Dystopia. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back after a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have the Grand Tour and World Heavyweight Champion Hercules making his way to the ring right now. Hartford, Connecticut. Your undisputed champion now stands before you as your true god. It is a glorious day for the old gods. Archangel is to be congratulated for his victory tonight. One of many of our faction. Amber Charlotte will be competing tonight, where she will secure her qualifying match, bringing the Warrior Princess one step closer to bringing the Women's Championship right where it belongs. However, the greatest victory was on Brawl just a few nights ago, a momentous occasion where I, the mighty Hercules, had defeated the demon himself, Dio Sebastian, in a ladder match, climbing my way to victory as I stand before all of you, both the Grand Tour and World Heavyweight Champion. I stand before you undisputed, the winner of this pointless war against the Misfit wrestlers. Amanda Price is gone, The Witch is gone, Steven Dynamite utterly and undisputedly defeated, and Dio has finally fallen to yours truly. I declare the old gods the absolute victors along in this feeble war. You may have won the battle, Hercules, but the war is far from over. Is it now, Dio Sebastian? I accepted your challenge, and you have lost your title to me as a consequence. There is nothing left. It's funny you call yourself undisputed when you need Archangel to save you not once, but twice. You hold on to your one legit victory over Steven Dynamite, but there is nothing about you that says honor. You cannot beat me on your own, and let's face it, you made a lot of enemies. The first two on that list is myself and Dynamite. You see, I will not rest until I get my revenge for what you did to my sister, the Witch. And I know Steven will not rest until he avenges Amanda Price. We now see it is not the head of the dragon that needs to be taught a lesson. It's all four of you. Well then, how do you suppose we settle this, Mr. Sebastian? Me and Steven Dynamite want to settle this once and for all against all four members of the Old Gods at Survivor Games in a good old-fashioned war elimination match. You're talking about war elimination? Oh, if I'm correct, that is the match reserved for Survivor Games, a 4v4 tag team elimination match. Whoever eliminates all four competitors on each team wins. However, I see a big flaw. There is 4 of us and only 2 of you. So unless you want the disadvantage of a handicap match, are you really sure you're ready to go to war with the old gods? Oh, don't worry, Hercules. It will be 4 versus 4 when it comes to Survivor Games. You will find out very shortly who the other 2 opponents will be. Well then, Sebastian, I will see you next Sunday at Survivor Games. I look forward to this. Prepare for war. And the challenge is set. Next Sunday on pay-per-view live here at Infinite Fantasy at twitch.tv, we're going to be having our main event match, the War Elimination match. It's going to be 4 versus 4 in an elimination style tag team match. The objective is to eliminate all 4 competitors on the opposing team. Whatever team is left standing will be declared the winner in what will be an all-out war between Dio Sebastian, Steven Dynamite, and 2 partners of their choosing against Hercules, Archangel, Amber Charlotte, and Rebecca Troy. That will be the main event for our pay-per-view event next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And don't go anywhere yet, folks, because we got another singles match coming up as Farouk versus the Sandman next.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Warner Robins, Georgia, weighing in at 275 pounds, Farouk!
And here comes Farouk, coming out of retirement after 2 decades. He used to be one half of a tag team called the Acolytes, otherwise known as the APA, with his partner Bradshaw, who is known nowadays as John Bradshaw Layfield. He'll be going one-on-one with Sandman after a confrontation he had on Brawl.
And his opponent from Philadelphia, weighing in at 240 pounds, the Sandman!
The Sandman, a ECW legend. This is a man who knows the meaning of hardcore. In his career here in GTW, he is the former hardcore champion. Actually a 3-time hardcore champion here in GTW. And just last week on Dystopia, he had a chance to qualify for the Survivor Games, giving him an opportunity to compete for the #1 contendership for the World Heavyweight title, if not for the disqualification caused by Farouk when he attacked John Bradshaw Layfield last week. Farouk came out on Brawl to tell his story. However, the Sandman came out blaming Farouk for him no longer having that opportunity to compete at the Survivor Games match next Sunday. The two now looking to settle things one-on-one in this singles matchup. We have a ECW legend, the Sandman, taking on a WWE legend, Farouk, right here tonight, right in front of us in this sold-out arena here in Hartford, Connecticut. You can see the anger and focus behind the Sandman's eyes as he circles his way around the ring. The king of the Singapore Cane. Always ready for a fight. This man has no empathy, no compassion. There's only two things he knows. That's drinking beer and making people bloody. This man, a master of the kendo stick. You put that weapon in his hand, and there is no one he cannot beat. However, the kendo stick will not save him tonight. This will be a singles disqualification match. And he's going to have to win by pure skill if he's going to have a chance against Farouk here tonight. And Farouk starting off strong with that clothesline. This will be his first match coming back after 20 years. And you can see there's absolutely no ring rust with this pro wrestling veteran as he's already taking it to the Sandman. With a huge right hand knocking this ECW legend down. It's easy to tell how much Farouk has spent his time away from the ring, still staying in shape, still staying in practice as he goes to wrench the head of the Sandman. Sandman in the hardcore game would definitely have the advantage, but here in a straight up singles matchup, I'm probably going to have to give it to Farouk. Farouk also, before being in a tag team with Bradshaw as the Acolytes, was once part of the Nation of Domination along with WWE superstar The Rock, who also at the time was known as Rocky Maivia, and has also been a long-time companion to The Rock's father. You can almost say Farouk might have even been one of the originals of the Bloodline. And here comes Sandman now, getting the advantage over Farouk as he applies pressure on that armbar, and then with a leg sweep knocks Farouk down. Sandman now hammering in on Farouk. Now we're starting to see why Sandman is an ECW legend as he goes to hammer away. Farouk, though, getting a possum pin. A great wrestling technique by Farouk there, showing his veteran experience, using his technical skills over the Sandman's brute force. He grapples up. He now sets Sandman up into a snap suplex. Here he is stomping away. Farouk getting fired up. The fans here at Hartford, Connecticut, going absolutely crazy in this sold-out crowd. And what power by this former member of the APA, former member of the Nation of Domination, Farouk, going for the pin now. 1, 2. However, Sandman gets the shoulder up. Here comes Farouk setting him up. Here comes the power bomb. No, he's switching to a fireman's carry, and Snake Eyes right over the top rope. Farouk now kicking the inner thigh of the Sandman, looking to lay on the punishment, but Sandman with a roundhouse kick right into the side temple of Farouk. Sandman now working on the arm of Farouk here. He's sizing up his opponent. Sandman looking to punish Farouk for his confrontation last week, and a pile driver by Sandman. In some promotions, that's an illegal move. 1, 2, but Farouk gets the shoulder up despite that devastating pile driver by the Sandman. We'll often wonder why he calls himself the Sandman, and we're finding out right here it's because he puts people to sleep. And Farouk now countering out the attempted submission hold by Sandman. The two men now outside the ring. Farouk staying in pursuit of Sandman. However, Sandman kicks him off. And there he is with those elbow drops right into his opponent. Superstar now looking to break the hand of Farouk here. And a Hurricane Rana by the Sandman. And there's Farouk getting his head rung in right into the steel ring post there. Sandman making his way into the ring. He may have a possible count out if Farouk doesn't stir quickly. And Farouk gets in the ring right at the last second. And he comes in hard with a backbreaker. He nearly lost the match by count out, but Steven came to his senses right at the nick of time. He goes for the cover, however, only a 2 count as Sandman kicks out. Here comes Farouk, now sizing him up. They grapple up. Farouk going for the Irish whip. And a quick elbow right into the jawline of Sandman. He's now waiting for Sandman to get to his feet as he's looking to finish things off. And there's a bear hug by Farouk. Sandman trying to elbow the back of the neck, trying to escape the submission hold, and with a clap able to break out of the hold. Tackles down, hammering away at his opponent. This is starting to turn more into a fist fight than a wrestling match. Sandman going for the pin, but it's Farouk kicking out on 2. And there's Sandman working on that shoulder, now sizing up his opponent, waiting for Farouk to get to his feet. And here comes another pile driver by the Sandman onto Farouk. A devastating pile driver. Will that be enough? 1, 2, 3. It is Sandman takes the win.
Here is your winner, the Sandman!
Sandman picks up a hefty victory on Farouk after that devastating, not 1, but 2 pile drivers. Remember, this is Farouk coming back in the ring after 20 years. His neck is probably not in the best of shape, and those 2 pile drivers probably did him in for. However, a beautiful performance by this ECW legend. Don't go anywhere, folks. We still got more to come. Coming up next, we have the women's qualifying match for the Survivor Games. Right after this quick break. And here comes Amber Charlotte waiting for her opponent, Adrienne Rizzo, for this women's qualifying match. And wait, what's this? The Witch has Lorenzo. Witch just knocked out Lorenzo. Okay, we're in the back that Adrienne Rizzo is found knocked out backstage by Gorilla. And someone saying that Lorenzo tried to get in the way of it, and the Witch just knocked her out and dragged him outside. And the Witch coming out to fight Amber Charlotte. The referee is calling for the match, saying that the match that was supposed to be between Amber Charlotte and Adrienne Rizzo, the qualifying match for the Survivor Games, is now a no contest. and will no longer be taking place. The spot for the Women's Survivor Games match is now vacated. And the Witch, who has been out for 3 weeks now, is now back in the ring. We had no idea that the Witch had been cleared in ring. And she's coming out here causing havoc, fighting Amber Charlotte, looking to get revenge for what happened in that casket match back at Fright Night. I gotta say, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting to see the return of the Witch here tonight. And it looks like she's looking to get her receipt on Amber Charlotte right here. Not only is she beating the hell out of her, looking to get to her what she got at Fright Night, but may have just cost her an opportunity at the women's title. And the Witch coming in with her finisher move onto Amber Charlotte now, squeezing her head between the thighs, looking to snap her neck. And a face buster by the Witch. Amber Charlotte barely on her feet right now. The referee in the ring at this point only to make sure this doesn't go too far. And what's the Witch doing? Off the top rope, wheelbarrow bulldog. It was originally supposed to be a qualifying match between Adrian Rizzo and Amber Charlotte, the winner going on to the Survivor Games for a chance to become the women's champion. However, thanks to the unexpected return of the Witch here, Amber Charlotte may have just lost her chance at getting her title shot. You see Amber Charlotte now fighting back against the Witch. I can hear her yelling here from the announcers to say, I'm going to make you regret for returning. I'm going to make you regret for ruining my match. And remember, the Witch was just in the hospital. There's no way she was running in there 100% healed. And no, she gets her way out of it. And there's Amber Charlotte with a DDT onto the Witch. He now has her in a submission hold. The Witch wiggles her way out. Here comes the Irish Whip. And the Witch once again with her finisher. And everyone is looking to choke out Amber Charlotte, trying to take the breath out of her. Amber Charlotte tried to get a receipt, but the Witch springing off the ropes. And I would say if her intention was to get her revenge on Amber Charlotte for putting her in the hospital back at Fright Night, she definitely had succeeded. And I'm just getting word now from Gorilla that the Witch is indeed cleared to be in in-ring action. And is now confirmed the Witch is going to be the third tag team partner on Dio Sebastian and Steven Dynamite's team for the War Elimination match for the main event of Survivor Games next Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, all I gotta say is the Witch is back, and in a big way. We still got more to come. Rhino versus the European champion Andre Armstrong in the men's qualifying match for the Survival Games match is coming up next, but first, a quick break. The Witch was supposed to be out of the picture. I made sure of it at Fright Night. I buried her myself. How is she back? Calm yourself, Charlotte. And you, Hercules, how dare you accept Dio's invitation to war? What if I had won the qualifying match? Do you expect me to forsake the women's title for your petty feud? But you did not win. The match is vacant, and therefore neither of you will compete. Not you, not Rizzo. It is all because of the witch. If this has proven anything, it is that this is no petty feud. Next Sunday, we will end this once and for all. As far as the witch goes tonight, Rebecca Troy will deal with her in the main event. The challenge is already set and accepted. My lord, that is not good enough. I want to destroy her. And when we go to war at Survivor Games, you shall. Think. The witch is not 100%. There's no way she has fully recovered from all her injuries so soon. Troy will soften her up tonight, and when we get to the war elimination match, we will end her along with Dio and Dynamite, and anyone else stupid enough to join the resistance. That should be good enough for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and the stage is set for tonight's main event. It's gonna be the witch, who has just made her dramatic return, going one-on-one with Rebecca Troy here tonight. But as of right now, we got a qualifying match for Survivor Games, as we have the European champion, the Russian gladiator Andre Armstrong, going one-on-one with Rhino. The winner will advance to the men's Survivor Games match next Sunday for an opportunity to become #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, and that's coming up right here on Dystopia.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 295 pounds, live, Noah!
And here comes Rhino, another ECW legend, former WWE wrestler, part-time at the NWA, now wrestling for us here at GTW, and he's got his eyes set on the World Heavyweight Championship, and he's only got to do two things to get there. He has to defeat Andre Armstrong here tonight, and he has to win the Survivor Games next Sunday.
And his opponent from Moscow, Russia, weighing in at 264 pounds, the European champion and one half of the mixed tag team champions, the Russian gladiator, Andre Armstrong.
You see Andre Armstrong being accompanied in the ring by his new tag team partner, Jamie Hayter, who has become Brenda Bison's replacement as one half of the intergender tag team champions. Thanks to her, the title will not be vacant from Andre Armstrong, since his partner Brenda Bison, former women's champion, has suffered multiple fractured ribs. Andre Armstrong, on top of that, is also the GTW European champion, former Olympian wrestler. He is by far one of the most accomplished technical wrestlers in the GTW ring today. However, it is not about either one of his titles. Tonight, he is wrestling to qualify for the Survivor Games match against Rhino for a chance to compete for his third belt. There goes the bell. Andre Armstrong starting off strong with a clothesline right onto Rhino. Rhino is borderline a super heavyweight, and it's going to take Andre Armstrong every technical skill he knows to keep Rhino off his feet. If he allows Rhino to get any momentum in this match, he'll be dealing with a freight train, and he knows it, so he's got to make sure he keeps the ground game right onto Rhino. And speaking of which, a moment Rhino on his feet clotheslines Andre Armstrong right out of the ring. You can see we have Jamie Hayter in Andre Armstrong's corner, and I can't help wonder, what is Brenda Bison thinking right now as she's watching this from her home right now? We here at GTW are wishing Brenda Bison a quick and speedy recovery, but I can only imagine her feelings in the matter, being stripped of the women's title, being replaced as one half of the intergender tag team champions by Jamie Hayter, and now seeing that a new partner is in the corner by Andre Armstrong's side rather than herself. And the Rhino keeping the pressure on Andre Armstrong. Andre trying to stop any momentum he has by throwing the elbows into the ribs. But there's Rhino with a strong elbow right into the face of the Russian Gladiator. The European champion now knocking down Rhino, bringing him down with a takedown. And a huge chop taking Rhino down. Some open hand chops by the Russian Gladiator, showing some feat of strength of his own. However, this bulldozer might be a little too much for the European champion here tonight. Rhino getting across the ring, and there's a spear right into the corner. Like I said, the moment Rhino picks up any momentum, it would be like fighting a freight train, and showing right here as he's going non-stop, using power move after power move onto Andre Armstrong here with that huge power slam right off the top rope. Now Rhino setting up for a power driver. We just saw that devastating move used by the Sandman to defeat Farouk not too long ago. And now Andre Armstrong feeling that same devastating move by the Rhino, followed by his finisher move, the Gore. Rhino with the Gore on Andre Armstrong. However, not enough to put this former Olympian wrestler away as the Russian Gladiator manages to kick out of Rhino's finishing move. And now Andre Armstrong attempting a Boston Crab. However, Rhino is too strong for him and able to overpower his way out. Rhino now slamming Andre Armstrong right into the corner, coming with an uppercut, now kicking him down to the bottom turnbuckle. You can just see this monstrous strength by Rhino as he's completely tearing apart the European champion right now in his qualifying match. Andre Armstrong rolling out of the ring, trying to get some distance from Rhino. Rhino going for a flying headbutt off the top rope outside the ring. That's got to be at least a 15-foot drop, head first right into the Russian Gladiator. And there's Andre with the elbows. They attempted a clothesline, however, countered by Rhino. And Rhino slamming Andre Armstrong's head right into the ring apron. And another power driver, second power driver by Rhino. He now setting Andre Armstrong up. And a Gore by the Rhino. He's making his way into the ring, looking to win this match by countout. And he succeeds. Rhino using the Gore outside the ring completely, knocking Andre Armstrong out. The Rhino now advances to the Survivor Games. He is now 6 of 8 men who will compete for the #1 contendership for the World Heavyweight title. An amazing display of momentum and power by this wrestling veteran, the Rhino. We still got more to come. Coming up tonight, we still have chosen the Intercontinental Champion going one-on-one with the Hardcore Champion, Catalysm, in a one-on-one match. And also, We now have our main event set. Rebecca Troy versus the return of the Witch. Here tonight, but first, a quick break. Here comes Jennifer Love making her way to the ring with a microphone, looking to address the crowd. I would like to congratulate Dakota Kai on qualifying for the Survivor Games match. She is now 5 out of 8 women who will be competing in a Falls Count no disqualification match for a vacant Women's Championship. I know, it seems like such an honor. If only she could win honorably. I do not know what Asuka and the rest of Damage Control's business is in GTW, but maybe they should understand that this is not their ring. Asuka goes where Asuka wishes. You are not ready for Asuka. The world not ready for Asuka. Not ready for my greatness. You want a piece of Asuka? Actually, as a matter of fact, I do. Any place, anytime. And I'm happy to put you in your place. That we settle things at Survivor Games. Asuka will put you in your place. And it looks like a match is set for Survivor Games. We're going to have Asuka versus Jennifer Love in a one-on-one singles match for next week's pay-per-view next Sunday. This all started on Brawl a couple of nights ago, where Jennifer Love was taking on Dakota Kai in a qualifying match for the Survivor Games and lost due to the interference of Asuka. Jennifer Love coming out here to express her grievance, and with Asuka coming out to reciprocate, as it will, the challenge has been laid down. Next Sunday at Survivor Games, for our mid-card match, we're going to have Asuka versus Jennifer Love. That's going to be Infinite Fantasy at twitch.tv, starting at 7 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. Central next Sunday, November 16th. When we return after this break, we're going to have Victoria Wong having a one-on-one interview with the Chosen One, Steven Dynamite. Victoria Wong here. I'm here with the Chosen One, Steven Dynamite. Dynamite, despite your training, Damian Elliott was still unable to defeat Archangel in tonight's opening match. Do you have any comments regarding his loss? First of all, I have some rather specific words for the fans here at the People's Bank Arena tonight, and that is, Hartford, Connecticut, your chosen one is here. Now, as for my boy, Damian, I know how you feel right now. I get it. You worked your ass off just to lose another match, to be defeated by your bully. But you know what, Damian? You stood up to him. You went up against your tormentor, and you said no. You proved that you're not willing to back down, and that right there is what makes you a man. And each time you get in the ring, you get better and better. You kept him on the ropes, and he knows that you're dangerous. And as long as you let me, I will keep pushing you to be a force to be reckoned with. Until then, you let me handle Archangel at Survivor Games. And what of the War Elimination match that will be the main event for Survivor Games next Sunday? We now know that among you and Dio Sebastian, the Witch will be joining your team against the Old Gods, but who will the fourth member be? Let's just say we're keeping that a little surprise for Brawl next week. All I can say is this. Next Sunday at Survivor Games, 4 against 4 in an elimination style tag team match is going to be an absolute war. This goes out to Rebecca Troy, Amber Charlotte, Archangel, and the undisputed false god Hercules. In the name of every person you have caused pain and suffering to, for every injustice you have brought into the GTW, you old gods have been chosen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Infinite Fantasy. Welcome back to Dystopia. You just heard it from Steven Dynamite himself. So far, the official team is Steven Dynamite, Hercules, and the Witch, and we'll find out on Brawl who their fourth partner for the War Elimination match will be for the main event of the Survivor Games. But right now we're going to turn our attention to what's going on here on Dystopia. We have the hardcore champion Catalysm, who for months now has been harassing Benjamin Bourne and is now painted a target on the Intercontinental Champion Chosen's back. Chosen is now going to face Catalysm 101 head on to take on what he believes to be a potential threat in a singles competition right here on Dystopia.
The following champion versus champion contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from parts unknown, weighing in at 353 pounds, the hardcore champion, the Destroyer!
The hardcore champion, the Destroyer, Catalysm, coming to the ring full of rage, full of anger, and ready to destroy. His words to bad boy Benjamin Bourne was exactly this: Chosen's blood is on your hands. After hearing that threat, Chosen himself has decided to challenge Catalysm to a one-on-one match here tonight to settle things once and for all.
And his opponent from Kyoto, Japan, weighing in at 202 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Chosen.
Here comes the Intercontinental Champion, Chosen. He has held on to that belt for nearly a year now. Several successful title defenses, but tonight it will not be about belts. Tonight we have two respective champions going one in the ring. Chosen wearing his confidence like armor, ready to fight not just for himself, but for Benjamin Bourne here tonight. However, one must question, will his agile style be enough against the brute monstrous force of the Destroyer, Catalysm, here tonight? And we're off, folks. Here's Chosen attempting a right hook on Catalysm. It seems to have not done anything. Catalysm trying to close in, but Chosen coming in with those strike combos and with a massive dropkick nearly knocks Catalysm off his feet. Catalysm struggling to stay up, and it seems Chosen having the right idea, using his high-flying momentum to try and take on Catalysm. But Catalysm, with very little effort, takes down Chosen with a clothesline. And there's Catalysm now looking to rip the head off of Chosen. It looked like he was attempting to rip off his mask. However, Chosen able to squeeze his way out of it. Chosen going for those rib shots. When you have someone the size of Chosen going up against a monster like Catalysm, you gotta really think about your strategy. You gotta start using full momentum into all your attacks. Just as Chosen has done right there, springing off the second rope to use a massive kick onto this monster. You gotta go for the rip shots, you gotta go for the legs, you gotta get him off his feet, because when someone that big gets a hold of you, it's all over. There's Chosen going for those rip shots on the hardcore champion, the Intercontinental champion, now using that ring knowledge, that experience he's learned from his days in Japan, and finally getting Catalysm off his feet. And has Chosen out of nowhere with a DDT, immediately going for the cover. Tonight is about sending a message to Catalysm saying that he's not just prey to be hunted, and if Catalysm is looking for a fight, Chosen is willing to give it to him. Catalysm now with some elbow shots of his own onto Chosen. Here comes the Irish whip and a big boot by Catalysm. And again, he's attempting to rip that mask off. Luckily, it was a little too tight. Chosen using his acrobatic abilities to counter Catalysm, and another drop kick by the Intercontinental Champion. Chosen's going to have to use every little experience he has to win this match as he comes off the ropes. With a swinging kick by Chosen, he goes for the cover. 1, 2, but Catalysm kicks out. Now, Catalysm with a massive headbutt. Now, going for that choke slam. Chosen counters an elbow strike and a flying knee. Chosen going to the top rope, high risk maneuver. An amazing display of acrobatics by the Intercontinental Champion. 1, 2. However, Catalysm able to get the shoulder up. And there's Chosen coming off the ropes. So far, being able to dominate over this monster. Here's Chosen now onto the top rope. And a high-risk maneuver with a high-risk reward successfully executed. You can see the Intercontinental Champion is playing it smart, trying to work on the legs of this beast right here. Trying to do everything he can to keep him from standing. This is definitely a type of match where you want to keep him on the ground. And Chosen getting a little too confident here, playing off to the sold-out crowd here, Hartford, Connecticut. Over Catalysm, catching him with a kick to the inner thigh. And here he is, putting him in a backbreaker position. And speaking of a backbreaker, he nearly split Chosen right in half with that. And here he is, now measuring out the Intercontinental Champion. Catalysm with a sidewalk slam. The whole arena just shook as he goes for the cover. Chosen kicking out on 2. Now, Catalysm has Chosen against the ropes. And that Snake Eyes is thrown going right across the tight top rope over there. Chosen weakly against the corner as Catalysm comes in full force across the ring with that elbow. And now he goes, just choking the life out of Chosen, using the full power of his knee right into the throat. Goes for an Irishman to the corner. Chosen looking to be in a bad shape as Catalysm moves into the top turnbuckle. Chosen fighting back. He comes in with a wheelbarrow. And a bulldog by the Intercontinental Champion Chosen as he goes for the cover. 1, 2. However, Catalysm kicks out on 2. Catalysm now having Chosen against the ropes. He goes for the Irish whip. And what raw power by the Destroyer Catalysm, the hardcore champion, taking out Chosen as he goes for the cover once more. 1, 2, Chosen kicks out. The crowd booing this Soul Pole Destroyer. And another feat of raw strength as he throws Chosen 15 feet right into the air. And here he goes, sizing them up. Looks like Chasm looking for that finisher. And another sidewalk slam. Or no, tilt-a-whirl slam. 1, 2. And somehow Chosen barely, but still manages to kick out. Chosen. Full force slamming Chosen. The whole arena shaking with that slam. Chosen barely able to pull down deep to get the counter on the catalysm, but not enough to put him away. Goes for a kick to the midsection. An amazing unorthodox pile driver by Chosen right there. Coming off the top rope with an atomic elbow drop, using the full speed momentum to maximize his power against his beast. You see Chosen sizing him up, trying to calculate the best area of attack. And a spinning heel kick, full force right into the face. 1, 2, Catalysm again kicks out. With Catalysm now in the corner, Chosen runs across, comes in full force like a freight train. You can tell the experience behind the Intercontinental Champion as he takes the offensive in this singles matchup. Here he comes, making his way to the top rope. Shooting star press. 1, 2, 3, and Chosen gets the win. But Chosen's not done yet. He's not done. He just got the win, but he just said, I'm not through with you yet. I'm listening to him here from the announcers. And here's Chosen with a table. He's bringing a table into the ring. Chosen, what are you thinking of? I hear him yelling out, you want to put a target on my back. You want to put my blood on Benjamin Bourne's hands. Now it's my turn to show you what a monster I am, as he tackles Catalysm right through the table into the corner. Chosen now sending the Hardcore Champion a message. What an incredible matchup, but what an even bigger ending to that match. Chosen now showing Catalysm exactly what he's capable of. If he had any thoughts of trying to go after him now, I'm pretty sure Chosen just changed his mind. We still got more to come. We got our main event coming up, as we got The Witch making her grand return, taking on Rebecca Troy in a one-on-one match for our main event here tonight. But first, a quick break. Dad, come on. There's still one more slot left in the War Elimination match. I will literally be with 3 of your best wrestlers. Let me fight. Yeah, you'll be teaming up with 3 of my best wrestlers facing off against 4 of my most dangerous. The only reason Archangel does not have you breathing through a tube is because I won't let you go out there alone. You won't let me go out there alone. You won't let me, huh? You know, Dad, I'm really tired of you treating me like a kid. I'm a pro wrestler. Archangel is my enemy. You had more than enough chances. You are not ready. Maybe if you keep training with Dynamite, you might be. One day. You know, it's funny how Hercules can believe in me, but you won't. Hercules, the man who had you kidnapped. Did you forget about that? I'll tell you what. You want a chance to stick it to the old gods? Yes, I would. I really would like a chance to stick it to the old gods. Fine. It's official. Start heading to the ring. Rebecca Troy is about to take on the witch for the main event. And guess what? You're the guest referee. Tell you what, Damien. Call it however you want. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and it's time for tonight's main event. Earlier tonight, Amber Charlotte was meant to have a qualifying match for the Survival Games against Adrian Rizzo. However, Adrian Rizzo was knocked out backstage by an unknown assailant, and it was revealed it was the witch when she drags out her partner, Channing Lorenzo. The referee forced to call the match a non-contest as the witch goes into an all-out brawl, giving Amber Charlotte her receipt after being hospitalized from Fright Night, with the witch now returning. Under the Old God's request, it is now official, the main event. The witch making her in-ring return against Rebecca Troy 101, but with a new stipulation that Damian Elliott, with the grace of his father, will now be the special guest referee here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, witch Rebecca Troy, guest referee match right here, right now for the main event of Dystopia.
The following contest is a special referee match. Please welcome the special referee for this match, Damian Elliott.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our main event. The guest referee, Damian Elliott, who lost his opening match against Archangel tonight, will have a chance to get a little retribution against the Old Gods as the power of who wins and who loses, what rules happen in tonight's match is now officially up to him. And though not the result Damian Elliott was hoping for, there's no doubt that this is going to be a nice consolation prize for the son of director Charles Elliott.
And the participants, first, representing the Fallen from Salem, Massachusetts, the Witch.
And here comes the return of the witch. It was about 3 weeks ago at the GTW Halloween special, the witch was in a casket match against Amber Charlotte. After a nearly 30-minute grueling, no-holds-barred match, the witch had suffered multiple injuries and was hospitalized after being locked inside a casket and buried alive by Amber Charlotte in what was meant to be her execution. However, she made her return earlier tonight, screwing Amber Charlotte out of her qualifying match. The slot for Survivor Games is now vacant, which means we will not know who the final woman for that match will be. All I know is Amber Charlotte will not be gaining her chance at the women's title thanks to the girl from Salem right here.
And her opponent, representing the Old Gods from Baltimore, Maryland, the Olympian Rebecca Troy.
As a response to what the witch has done earlier tonight, Rebecca Troy has been chosen by Hercules himself to take the witch out of action, to soften her up before the War Elimination match for the main event of Survivor Games next Sunday. However, this may be a task that might be more than difficult for the Olympian Rebecca Troy now that Damian Elliott is the guest referee, and no doubt he's going to have fun with this. There's no love lost between Damien and Rebecca Troy, who is one of the 4 wrestlers responsible for holding Damian Elliott hostage during a kidnapping. And when Damian Elliott asking his father Charles Elliott to put him into the War elimination match, he abruptly refused. However, as a consolation, he will have a chance to stick it to the old gods, mainly Rebecca Troy, here tonight, as he gets to decide her fate in tonight's main event match. And don't forget, next Sunday, November 16th, will be our next pay-per-view event, the Survivor Games, which will be live streaming at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, here at Infinite Fantasy /twitch.tv. And now we're getting ready for tonight's main event, The Witch versus Rebecca Troy. Damian Elliott as the guest referee, and here comes the bell. And here goes Rebecca Troy grappling up with the Witch in the middle of the ring. And she throws the Witch back. You gotta know, the Witch can't be going into this 100%. She was just recently released from the hospital back up in Boston, Massachusetts, where Fight Night took place. I probably did not have long to recover. However, the Witch, being the free spirit she is, was not gonna say no to getting her hands on Rebecca Troy here tonight. And she is grappling up with Troy. Troy now reversing on the Witch in this chain wrestling match here on tonight's main event. The Witch is struggling to get out of the hold. And there's the Witch with an arm drag, placing Rebecca Troy into an armbar. You see Damian Elliott definitely enjoying this here tonight. Here comes Rebecca Troy attempting a sidewall slam. The Witch reversing, getting a 2 straight combo on Rebecca Troy, and comes in with a gut buster. She goes for a kick. Rebecca Troy attempting to counter, but the Witch comes in with a spinning heel kick. And here she goes, picking up the deadweight Rebecca Troy into a German suplex. The Witch now making her way to the top rope. And there's a frog slash by the Witch, and here comes the count. However, Rebecca Troy able to kick out before even a 1. He now places her into a submission hold. Rebecca Troy managing to get herself out of it, and there's a neck breaker by Rebecca Troy. And now goes to place the Witch into the submission. The Witch wiggling out. And Rebecca Troy coming in with a snap suplex onto the Witch. And here she is, measuring up the Witch. Coming in with a cartwheel and a clothesline. And here comes the count. 1, 2, but the Witch gets the shoulder up. Now Rebecca Troy going for that figure 4 leg lock. Will the Witch step out? And there's Rebecca Troy using all the leverage, trying to get out of it, but the Witch manages to break her way out. And here's Rebecca Troy now measuring her up. And there's a German suplex by Rebecca Troy. She now goes wrenching the neck of the witch. And here comes the count. 1, 2, and the witch gets the shoulder up. The two women now taking it outside the ring. Damian Elliott starting the ring out. Rebecca Troy brings the witch back into the ring. And there she goes, stomping on that shoulder, trying to work the old injuries of the witch that she had suffered from Fright Night. She comes in with a hard elbow into the inner leg of the witch, trying to systematically reopen all the old wounds. And again, here comes the pin. Charles Elliott going for the count. 1, a rather slow count by Damian Elliott. But again, it was said by Charles Elliott himself, you can call the match however you like tonight. An open hand slap by Rebecca Troy as she once again takes down the witch. And she goes, placing her in that scissor hold. And now she goes to measure up the witch, looking to go for the finisher here. As the witch against the ropes, with the witch getting the elbow in, and a hurricanrana by the witch, taking down Rebecca Troy. And there's the witch taking off the turnbuckle, all legal here. Well, at least as long as Damian Elliott says it's legal, it is. And the witch carrying Rebecca Troy up. Rebecca Troy going for the pin, and here comes the count. 1, 2, but the witch kicks out. And there's Damian. Noticing the exposed turnbuckle, but refusing to put the turnbuckle back on. Rebecca Troy now having the witch in the figure 4 leg lock. There she goes, measuring up the witch, looking for that finisher move. There's an open chop. She goes for the cover. 1, 2, the witch again kicks out. Which looking to be in a lot of trouble as Rebecca Troy continues to pick her apart in this main event match. And there's Rebecca Troy with an open hand chop right in the corner. And a moonsault by Rebecca Troy. She missed but managed to spring off into a second moonsault. 1, 2, but the witch again kicks out. And she again goes that figure 4. Damian refusing to check for a submission, refusing to check for a tap out. Here comes Troy coming off the top rope. High risk maneuver by the Olympian. Double axe handle onto the witch. And now the witch dodges, managing to get the counter onto Rebecca Troy. And here comes the pin. 1. But no, Rebecca Troy kicks out. Here's the witch doing a springboard. And what's this? Damian Elliott outside the ring now. nowhere to be found, and here he comes. Rebecca Troy kicks out. And the Witch going for a moonsault. Rebecca Troy throwing the Witch against the ropes. Irish whip. And there's an elbow by Rebecca Troy as she now goes for the count. 1, 2, a bit of a slow count on Damien's part there. Rebecca Troy continues to take her apart. So far dominating the singles match. Remember, the Witch has not come into this 100% still recovering from her injuries that she suffered from Fright Night, and Rebecca Troy taking full advantage of that. And again, here comes the cover. 1, 2, again, the Witch manages to kick out. And Rebecca Troy coming in hot with a spear onto the Witch. She now sizes her up, looking to put this match away. An amazing facebuster by Rebecca Troy. 1, 2. Damien refusing to hit the hand for a third time though. You can see he's taking full advantage, messing with Rebecca Troy, refusing to let her get a 3 count. Might be just the advantage the Witch needs. As she goes to smash Rebecca Troy right into the corner. The Witch now with a body slam. 1. But Rebecca Troy manages to kick out. And wait, what's this? Here comes Damien attacking the Witch. Out of nowhere, as soon as the Witch got the advantage, and now the two are double teaming on the Witch. Damien Elliott now knocked out. The Witch finally getting the offensive, but now there's no referee. We got Rebecca Troy coming in, hot on the Witch, no strikes, a neck breaker. Damien Elliott now coming to. There comes the pin. 1, 2, 3, and a fast count by Damien Elliott, who had just screwed over the Witch.
Here is your winner, the Olympian Rebecca Troy.
We went into this match thinking that it was going to be Damien on the Witch's side, but in the end of the day, he ended up attacking the Witch, him and Rebecca Troy double teaming on her, and then gives Rebecca Troy the fast count, giving it a win. And I just gotta know why. Why did Damien Elliott help Rebecca Troy after everything the old gods have done to him? Like, don't tell me that Hercules has actually gotten into his head. And you gotta be wondering what's going through the mind of his father, Charles Elliott, right now after watching that. Putting his son into a place of power, a position to call the match, and now he just helped Rebecca Troy win the match. These are questions that we're going to find answered this Wednesday on Brawl. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. For those of you watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in this Wednesday for GTW Brawl and Saturday for GTW Dystopia. Both shows will be at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And next Sunday we'll be having our pay-per-view event, the Survivor Games, live at Allentown, Pennsylvania. Live streaming here at Infinite Fantasy at twitch.tv. This is Infinite Fantasy signing out. May your fantasies be infinite.